welcome to another episode of the Dr. Wendy Show. I have so much I want to share with you guys. Like, I want to talk about my family. I have a little update about Women's History Month because it is March. Happy Women's History Month. And then I have a special segment for you guys. We have been looking at all the comments, questions you have been putting up in all the past videos. And today, we finally get you some answers. Tune in to an all-new episode of the Dr. Wendy Show. Let's get it. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Dr. Wendy Show. It has been a long February, and I cannot believe we are finally in March. March actually is one of my favorite months because I love spring and I love warm weather. And I feel like March starts that. Also for my family, March is significant because it starts our birthday journey. You guys know I have 3 kids. That is myself and Eddie. And starting in March, my middle son, Cruz, has a birthday. April, my oldest son, Carter, has a birthday. May, I have a birthday. July, my daughter has a birthday. And then we have some lull months. And then December, Eddie has a birthday. But March has always been like a starter month for my family. I feel like everything just starts going really, really fast in the month of March. Speaking of family, I want to share something with you guys. And it's a little bit personal, but I wanted to get your opinions of it. A part of motherhood that we often don't talk about is the fact that we don't know it all. And even though you may have multiple children, you still don't know how to navigate when certain situations arise that you've never experienced before. So I want to share something with you guys. In Maryland, like I think in most states, but I can only speak for Maryland, schools and what school your child goes to is a very big deal. So we have been gearing up to apply for private schools for my children. It has been an arduous process because there's so much that is required. And we thought, wouldn't it be easier if all 3 of our kids go to the same exact school? So we applied for all 3 kids to go to the same school. I recently found out that 2 of my 3 kids got accepted to the school. 1 of my kids got waitlisted. The reason being, they said, that entry point, that grade level is highly competitive. Mind you, my older kids, because Cameron, she's younger, they really don't do grades, but my 2 older boys are straight A students. So now, my husband and I are faced with the decision of what to do. And you guys may be like, what do you mean? I'm saying, since one of my kids got waitlisted, do I now allow the 2 other kids to go to the school that they got into and then find another school for my child that got waitlisted? Or do I make it such that none of them go to the school they got into and now apply to a different school where they can all go to? As a mother, this is probably one of the hardest decisions I have to make because I never want any one of my children to feel as though they're not good enough. And as I was thinking about it, I was on the train and I was thinking about, what is my villain origin story? A villain origin story is basically where it's a pivotal moment in someone's life that things went a certain type of way, and that monumental thing is what changed the trajectory of their life and changed their behavior forever. My villain origin story is my sister and I both were at this ritzy private school in Long Island. I was in the 8th grade and my sister was in the 11th grade. This school had the kids of ambassadors, diplomats, you name it. I was raised by a single mother, So her affording this school was very tough. But they promised her that the next year, when I go to ninth grade and when my sister goes to her senior year, she would get a scholarship so we could stay at the school. But there was a caveat. In order for me to get a scholarship to go to this school, I needed to have a 3.0. My sister needed to have a 3.0. That's all we had to do. And we would be able to get a substantial scholarship for us to go to this amazing school that will change our lives. At the end of my 8th grade year, I got my report card, and my GPA was a 2.8. My sister, of course, being the brainiac, her GPA was like a 3.6. My mom couldn't afford to pay for me to go to this school. My sister could, but I couldn't. So I went to this amazing private school just for 1 year. And for ninth grade, I had to go to public school. From an amazing prep school, like the kids lived there. We wore uniforms, like a prep school. I had to leave there and now go to a public school in Long Island. That is my villain origin story. Because of that decision, I feel like the trajectory of my life changed completely. I got in trouble in school. I got detention. I got suspended. I hung out with the wrong crowd. I had a boyfriend when I wasn't supposed to. My sister played lacrosse, graduated from her prep school, went on to get to Duke University. I eventually went to college, but it wasn't the same roses that my sister experienced. That's why this decision with my children is such a big deal for me. Because I could look back on my life and I could literally see the place where, you know how they say, or Eminem said it in the song Renegade, which is one of my favorite rap songs. He said, I saw a fork in the road and went straight. That's where my life changed. I went another way. So I would love to hear from you guys, because I do read your comments and I do read your feedback. If you were in this position as a parent, what would you do? You have 3 kids, 2 out of 3 get into the school of your dreams. Do you pull all of them and take them to a whole different school? Another private school, but a different one? Or do you allow the 2 to go to that school and take the 1 to another school? Will that be their villain origin story? Will I be doing the same thing to my kid that was done to me? And then a part of me is also like, the kids that got in, am I holding them back because one didn't? Is it fair to the ones that got in for me to say, yeah, you got into this amazing school, but you can go to another private school? What would you do? I would love to hear from you. Zen, when? And I know some of you guys may be like, why can't we find another school? We can. But the school they got into is equivalent to the Harvard of schools. So we can apply to other private schools, but they'll probably be like the, University of Maryland. No shade to University of Maryland. But they're not the Harvard of schools. And I'm also in a tricky spot because my daughter is actually in a private school right now, which is an amazing school too. It's up there. It's like neck and neck with the other school we applied her to. So the only reason she would even be leaving her school is so she can go to the same school with her brother. So it'll be easier for us. So I feel like I have so many options. Like I could just leave her at her school, do something. Like it's so much. But I don't know what to do. This is one of those moments in motherhood that I hate, if I could be honest with you. I hate these moments in motherhood where you feel as though the decision that you make is going to impact your child forever. It's like, it's not fair. It's not fair. And this is when motherhood gets hard for me. Is when I have to make decisions that I know could change the trajectory of their life forever. So let me know your thoughts. And it's really hard because I think at the core of parenting, we just want to do what's best for our kids. But the truth of the matter is we don't have all the answers. So sometimes we're going to make decisions that may not have been the best one. Sometimes I think about Michael Jackson and his siblings and how their father really was instrumental in their career. But you see how Michael Jackson turned out and then the remaining of his siblings when the Jackson 5 split. Or even if you think of in more recent memory, you have someone like Beyonce, who her dad was instrumental in her career. And I just wonder if the parents have any regrets, and if the children, if they had a part in the decision making, if they would have chosen differently than what their parents chose. Like, a part of me wants to be like, man, maybe I should just go up to my child and say, this is a situation. What would you like me to do? But the reason my husband and I have chosen not to tell my child what's going on is because, again, we don't want that to impact them and their self-esteem, to feel like they didn't make it. They didn't measure up. The two of their siblings measured up, but they weren't able to. And who knows, maybe they won't feel like that. But I am so big on protecting my children. I'm so big on giving my children the best. I'm so big on not making any mistakes. I'm so big on, and maybe that's the problem. I always try to be a perfectionist, and I just gotta let go. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Welcome to the 4th degree, where we hold everyone and everything accountable. This month is Women's History Month, so I have a bone to pick. And it's not necessarily with women, but the people who I feel like are trying to hold women back. Let's get it. All right, y'all, it's March. It's Women's History Month. For me, every month is Women's History Month, just like every month is Black History Month. However, as a nation, we commemorate March with being Women's History Month. I have a bone to pick. I feel like in the past few months, we have seen a crop of women who have come out to share their truth. Whether that's Britney Spears, whether that's Monique, the comedian, whether that's Taraji P. Henson, when she was talking about the pay difference in acting. I just feel like women have been very vocal about the ways they felt disenfranchised. Oftentimes, they're very vocal about the way they have felt disenfranchised within a male-dominated society. I'll be honest with you. The entertainment business and the entertainment industry is not for the weak. It is something that you have to be mentally prepared to enter into, because it's not friendly. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Very simple. However, my 4th degree is not for the women who are speaking up, but for the people who continuously go out of their way to undermine the experiences of these women once they speak up. So many times we have women saying how they were treated unfairly, how they were treated unjustly, how things happened that weren't up to par with other people, whether that's because of race, gender, color, or creed, whatever. But like clockwork, you will see someone come out on social media and tell this person that their truth is not the truth. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with Monique, the comedian, coming out and saying what her experiences are. And then you have people like Stephen A. Smith or D.L. Hughley coming out and labeling her bitter. Is she bitter? Maybe. But why do you feel like, as a man, it is your job to try to undermine her and her experiences? It's her experience. It's her life. It's what she went through. Why are we arguing about this? And then the argument is never to say she's lying, so to speak. I think D.L. Hughley said she was lying, but I don't think Stephen A. Smith said that. But it's never to say they're lying. It's to say you're just bitter. I have a problem with that because I feel like certain language is only used when it comes to women. Oh, you're bitter. Oh, you're emotional. Oh, you have an ad. Why are we doing this? Why? If a woman comes out to say her truth, then guess what it is? Her truth. Like, what is the debate? And as a man or as any individual, what do you get from trying to undermine what somebody has been through or what somebody's story is? Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point? If I say, when I was in the industry, hypothetically speaking, I felt hurt, I felt disenfranchised, I felt like people didn't listen to me, I felt like I wasn't getting the same thing as my male counterparts. It's like, here comes some whack-ass guy coming down the road to mansplain and say, but how about this? But how about you shut up and mind your business? How about you let that person tell their truth and keep on going? And if you don't agree with it, then guess what you can do? Tell your friend. You don't have to make a video to try to discredit somebody on social media. Like, what is their truth is their truth. Your truth is your truth. Leave them alone. I just had to get that off my chest, especially since it's Women's History Month. Especially since it's Women's History Month. Especially since it's Women's History Month. I had to get that off my chest. That's it.